Okay, so now let's talk about saving, right? Because we mentioned saving earlier and how it connects to investing, just general investing. A lot of people, I guess their mentality is, and so was mine as well, is to make as much money as you can or save as much money as you can, put it in a bank account and let it sit there. And I thought, oh, this is a great idea as well. Then I heard about this really bad word called inflation, right?
It's ugly. It's like the worst thing.
Right. And once I understood how inflation works up against my dollar today, it kind of changed things for me. So now what would be your suggestion or what are your thoughts on putting a bunch of money in the bank thinking, oh man, I got $30,000, $40,000. Well, I guess that's not even a lot today, assuming you're trying to retire with this. But what would be your thoughts on putting a bunch of money in the bank as opposed to finding a way to take that money that I'm saving and circulating it up against something like inflation?
Right. That's a great question. So I look at money like a tool, and you can use that tool to build, stuff.
Right.
You can use money to build wealth. So I look at it as like ammunition, like it's a weapon, and like you gotta have like bullets, like when you fight wars, all this stuff. Like, and so with inflation is like the enemy.
Right.
And so in order for you to fight inflation, you have to find assets that are appreciating. Because I think now the dollar has depreciated pretty much like 98% of sure since 1913, since the Federal Reserve came into being. And so someone has $40,000 in their bank account. Depending on the situation, me personally, I would suggest you put maybe like 70, 60% of it in the stock market, and then just leave some cash just in case.
Back to the original question, putting your money in the bank, as we've always been taught, is not necessarily the safest thing. It sounds like one of the safest things to do is, number one, if an individual can come up with a business of their own of some sort, you have circulating cash that keeps moving because of the business that you're into, as opposed to letting money sit in a bank account and get old, and as it ages, it's losing its actual power. Right. So
no longer has that same value. Yeah.
Right. Because I know a lot of people still really believe I'm going to put my money in the bank, and then when I retire and I hit 60 or whatever, I'll live off of this for the rest of my life. And I see now that might not, unfortunately, it's a good logical strategy.
Yeah.
I just don't know how that works as far as you hit retirement now and you're looking at this extra money and you're thinking, I'm good. And you're looking at it like, wait a minute, what happened? And I just didn't want our viewers to, because I know that was something I really thought that, oh man, I'm going to save, a couple $100,000. And if it sits there, if anything, it might grow.
Gain some interest.
So like in the old days, like when like the interest was pretty high and decent, like it made sense to leave your money in a bank account, like in the 70s, 60s. That's when the United States economy was like very sound and stable, and so it made sense back then. So, but that knowledge is from like baby boomers.
Understood.
So throughout, if you look at the interest rates, they've just declined because America, we spend money like drunken sailors, and so
China, like a bunch of money.
Maybe China, Japan. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Treasuries.
Man.
That's crazy.
That's another segment too.
Well, we're not politicians.
Well,
so
I mean, that leads me to my next question. I was going to ask you, how important, and this is particularly for you because you're a retirement planning specialist.
Right.
How important is it for setting up, I guess, investments for your retirement?
I think it's really important. Like tying back with inflation, like you want to make certain returns in the market to make sure whatever you're putting in, it's making money too. And so I think it's really important to like be invested for your retire, because by the time you're working when you're 20, 30 and you didn't really save that much until you're 60, 70, like that inflation is like, it may not be worth as much when you could have maybe like 4 times your money within 2-3 years, or 5 times, 10 extra money, but you're getting like 1% each year, 2%, not even. Nowadays, some banks even offer like less than a 1% interest.
Wow.
I'll let you can find, let me know, a bank account. That's like 3%, 4%.
Yeah.
because that's easy money. Like, especially if you have a lot of money, so it's all relative. But I mean, I think it's really important. Like, you need to save and invest for retirement because things are getting more expensive. So when you're retired, you're not going to have, depending on your kids, they may not, watch you.
Yeah.
You could be on your own.
Yeah.
You don't have to start paying for like milk.
Some bad kids, man.
Yeah.
Selfish.
You get old. You do all this hard work for your kids. You get old, and they're like, all right, old man. Nursing homes that way. That's terrible.
That's just part of the Western capitalism, like family model.
Yeah.
And I know in Africa, I was like, you live with your parents. You look at your grandparents, like you take care of them because they took care of you, and they typically move in with you at that, I believe.
Yeah, I think a lot of different cultures have
Hispanic
that.
culture does.
Yeah, a lot of real family oriented, but I guess
Asia,
yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
But now let's talk about how an individual can set themselves up for a strong retirement. I want to talk about passive income, really good investment ideas. I know can't remember who I was watching, but they talked about great investment ideas, and I loved it. What are some good investment ideas or passive income ideas for an individual who's looking at the future like, okay, I can't do this job that I'm at forever. Mm-hmm. Let me take some of my cash and start to prep a passive income idea. Mm-hmm. Like I know at one point people were doing the Airbnbs like crazy, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know how well that's doing, but it's still a shot, a really good shot. What are some other ideas that you can give our viewers into setting something up that will slowly grow, but eventually you'll get there type ideas?
I guess like invest in like businesses that can help you generate income. So like with the digital media and with AI, like I would tell people like look into like e-commerce, stuff like that for online sales. Start your own podcast, YouTube, talk about stuff that you're into. Just find things that you are that you're in passion with and see if you can serve others.
All right.
Because I'm more into like the investing, so it's easy for me to be like, just buy certain stocks, buy certain index funds, and just like let it sit. Yeah. But
you found your little mojo,
right? So that's my first. So like I feel like when you want to build multiple streams of income, it's better for you to focus on that first stream, and then once you figure out how to automate it for yourself, and then you can go in and focus it. Because a lot of people they try to do a lot at the same time, and just like you don't want to be the jack of all trades and not know anything.
Jack of many trades, master of none.
Yeah, master of none. Yeah. So because it's hard for you to focus when you're trying to like build, and you're just like. So right now, I'm just focusing on the stock market, trying to generate as much income as I can, and then hopefully, if I can, hopefully by next year or 2 years, I'll leave my job and then try to get into something else while I'm using that income to support my family, and then maybe that gives me enough time to like get into another venture. Because I'm trying to do my own little thing on the side, but I just feel like it's a lot of energy, dude. Like, like if you're a go getter, you know what I'm saying? But it's a lot.
Now this is all about Line Impact. Is all about being the best version of yourself, and I'm always gonna tell people to go get it by almost any means necessary. Because I say any means necessary nowadays. Some people are ready to take it to an extreme that could put them in a position that.
Yeah, they don't.
Very
Michael told me any means necessary.
Yeah.
So for our guys and girls out there who might, because I look at investing at not just numbers, right? I also look at investing like investing in yourself. Right. And finding your passion, something that, you're really good at, and, crafting that and working at that. I think, and that has nothing to do with any numbers. Right. And that's all on you. You are in control of how good you get at something based upon the time and investment that you put into that thing. So I think that's definitely another type of investment, man. And, I know at one point I had this idea where, which wasn't just my idea. I know we've talked about it in the past. It's just like, I'm going to buy an ice cream truck.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy all these people making all this money off of, what are the little vans? portable, I guess the mobile food truck. Excuse me.
Okay.
And I'm looking at guys, and they're making all this money from the food trucks, and I'm like, how'd you get started? Man, I just saw somebody else do it, and I threw my own logo together, man. I was like, I can get this thing. I know how to cook a little bit. I called my lady.
Tacos.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's not necessarily this, miracle idea where it's you and God gives you this magical dream, and you're like, yeah. I think sometimes, man, you got to open your eyes and literally put your hands in the dirt and say, I'm about to create something.
Definitely have to be aware.
Yeah. I'm about to create something. So I think that's another level of investing that I definitely want our viewers to walk away with, where it's like, yo, even if you don't know anything and you feel like it's still complicated,
just do it.
Just do, man, what?
Just do it, man.
Just do it.
Just do it.
I love that, man.
All right. And that's going to conclude our podcast for today. I'd like to thank our special guest here, Hilario. Appreciate you for coming out here. You're very knowledgeable, and I feel like we got some great things from this.
Absolutely.
We're going to be putting his Twitter down in the link below. So if you would definitely like to follow, get some ideas, definitely real helpful. Also want to put in that this is not financial advice, so do your own due diligence. And have a great day. Take care.